morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to Weaves of Waves. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I did. Oh, my partner is so lovely. I'm very, very lucky. I'm very, very blessed. We had a lovely weekend. We went for a walk in the hills, and it was a bit chilly though. So it's a bit of a frosty, sharp morning here. But oh dear, so many ideas, so many things. I want to talk to you today about America. I loved America. Okay, I crossed the states from North Carolina to San Francisco in a camper van when I was about 21, and I really saw south part of America. We plotted it all out, and it was an amazing journey, and the people were wonderful. Oh, it was just like, now obviously it was quite a few years ago, so we are talking about sort of let's see, probably the 90s. The food was so much, wow, and it was such a big country, and it was magical. There were some magical spaces like, the Grand Canyon and the Mississippi, the river. That was an amazing river, the sense and the feel of it all. Now, I love the land. I always love the land, and I always will love lands. I love parts of Africa. I love Bali. I've travelled a lot, and I really, most places can resonate in something for me. But America is so diverse, and I mean, it is the epitome of diversity. And it's like lots and lots of little countries all in one big one that want to call themselves the same. Now, I'm not sure what's going on because, as I say, I don't have television, so I don't have mainstream media, which is kind of, I think it's a good thing in a way, because I don't get the negativity thing. But of course I have Facebook, I have Twitter, I do YouTube, I see lots of things on there, and it concerns me a lot. I have a few friends that are very concerned, so maybe it's their concern that's coming through. And I think it's so many people, you can't put them all into one thing. See, Europe is lots of little tribes of people. I'm of the tribe of English. You know, we've been to war with our Scottish and Welsh neighbours. It's kind of friendly these days, but the nationality and being a nationalist isn't a bad thing. Well, it isn't to me. And this is where, I have a lot of concerns. I don't want you guys to fight over there. Please sort it out. It's a very, very odd situation to me. And I see little bits of the news. I pick it up from Twitter, basically, which is, I get it. It's not necessarily a good place to find my news. But you know what? I have to say flat out, colour really doesn't matter to us. Okay, now, you are going to get the mainstream media yelling down that we're just as bad as Americans. No, I don't think in colour-wise. Colour-wise, I don't see colour. I see meritocracy. I see merit. So it's always been confusing to me. Even more so because I lived in South Africa for a while. Because in South Africa, that's all they see. They only see colour. So it depends on what your tribe is, matters most. But it's like, America, get over your colour problems. I listen to a lot of Louder with Crowder stuff, and he talks very fast, and I try and fill myself in. I try and educate myself on what is happening with America, and it's scary, because it's like, I've never seen that. I don't understand the connection between pigmentation, and everyone will say, oh, it's white privilege. What? Sorry, I've lived homeless. There was no white privilege over here. That's a myth. That's all right. That might be an American thing, and I don't remember seeing that at the time. We seem to be importing some of the racial problems, and it's like, nah, I don't think so. It's not fitting properly. So there was that. Then there was all the woke stuff, which I would call, there's like destroying of the family and very, very high liberal stuff. Now, again, my terminology is probably wrong, but it's like you're going through a phase. It's like America's going through a teenage phase, And yeah, where everybody, the world around you, you're not listening to anybody else. It's totally I've got teenagers. They're not listening to anybody else. Their whole life is wrapped up about their little tiny bubble that they live in. And yeah, it's very interesting because Americans are the most creative peoples, diverse peoples, and you should be using that as a strength. You know, the strengths that you have. Hollywood, you know, all the movies that comes out. I love Hollywood. Okay, yeah, it's corrupt. Yeah, there's some really, really sad stuff. But we're all sitting around watching your movies. You've imported around the world your technology, your space race, you know, all of this. It's like no one's proud to be an American anymore. And that's sad. Because I remember having a fight once with a girlie who thinks that America was better than England, and we were slagging it out, and it was really cool because she got that there's a lot of problems with both, but she got that we were both very proud of our nations, and rightly so. I'm sorry, rightly so. Be proud to be an American again. We liked that. It's an arrogance, and yeah, it's annoying sometimes, and we will shout at you for it, but yeah, we get shouted at for being British, you know, proud to be British. My ancestors put together the British Empire. My ancestors stopped slavery. You know, this is the sort of thing that we could argue backwards and forwards, but shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't be the whole of the conversation. We should be sort of lightly happy and celebrating that the other person is so proud of their nation. As I said, it's obviously cross-cultured because there's an awful lot of things happening that I don't understand. Somebody will tell me something, or I will see a Facebook post, and I'm like, what? So, in my ignorance, and I am totally ignorant of how the culture sticks together and how it works. I've just been a tourist in America. But I would like to see Americans strong and proud of their country again. Is that too much to ask? I'd like to see British people strong and proud of their country again. What has torn it apart? I remember seeing a whole bunch of things like Punch a Nazi and stuff, and it's like, really? That was being done by my parents. We really kind of whipped them, whipped their asses, and we got rid of that in World War II. And it's like it's all coming back up. Okay, so America has got to go through its same thing. Fair enough. But it seems an awful mess these days, and it's all divide and conquer. Let's divide everybody up between genders, to being colour, to being... And by the way, there's a U in colour. Just saying. I don't care one way or the other, and I'm teasing. Okay, so a lot of the way we joke and we're sarcastic and we do irony and things like that because we're very fond of America. In fact, I would say I love it lots. It is a stunningly beautiful country, and you should be proud of what you've achieved. And yes, there's corruption. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, never any more than the Western world is. But it's a matter of looking at the past and seeing where you've come from and thinking, wow, you know what? We're doing all right. We're still... I hope. I hope America is doing all right. England is the same. Britain is the same. We're watching Scotland fall apart. But no, most Scots aren't falling apart. It's just the government. It's just the surface. A lot of them are very much more aware of the situation than I am. And Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, yeah, it's all a mess. It is absolutely a mess if you look at it from from the surface, from the mainstream media's point of view. But the real people, the people that are putting their hands on the ground and feeling the pulse, they know it's real. They know what's going on. They're awake. They're not woke, they're awake. Little bit of, I'm not fond of this whole divide and rule. We have far more in common than we do differences. And that includes people of colour, people of different race, religion, political orientation, sexual orientation, even gender orientation, though that bit gets me confused. I am confused about some of the stuff that comes out of America, and I do apologize if I am not fully woke in some of the terminology. I don't get the pronouns thing. I don't get it at all. That's not in my culture. So in other words, my culture, maybe I'm too old for it, doesn't understand it. And it's illogical from what somebody's explained. It's like the rules of rugby or the rules of cricket. If you can explain to me the rules of cricket, and I'm English, I'm meant to understand these things, but it's beyond me. So I'm just not that bright in that way. So yeah, I want people to be proud of their nation states again. Now, nationalism, it's almost become a bad word, but it was like friendly. You know, you can sort of joss with each other, and now we're just scared of offending. That's stupid. You know, being offended is it's your thing. Get over it. What do they call it? Butt hurt. But it's like, oh, it's very, very divisive. And I would like to stop that. And I really reach out to the awake people in America who love their country, love their home, love their history and what they've achieved and what they've developed, loved who they are, and they want to make it amazing. Because there's so much potential in America. There's so much potential in England. I mean, comes from a lot of creative engineers. We invented a whole bunch of things. Our initiative, our innovatives. No, I can't even pronounce the word, but innovative. Yeah, that word. Where, yeah, we can see a problem and go out and solve it. The traditions of both countries run parallel in a lot of ways, but it's a huge, massive continent that you've got, and there's a lot of people there that are different, and you need to use that as a strength, not try and make them all the same. That's my humble opinion. But yeah, I love America, and I love Americans. I love the idea of America, and it's like, it's making me upset that there is like, the corruption has maybe goes too deep. Maybe it needs to be rebuilt. I don't know. I don't think so. I think you go into a system and you rebuild it from within. We have to do the same. I'm not pointing fingers, because there's 3 fingers pointing straight back at me, at Britain. And yeah, but I can't help feeling that this whole great reset could be an amazing thing. Yeah, if we could sort of lesser the powers of the banks and money and go back to the sort of the land. I don't know. I've been looking at solutions. I'm looking for solutions for peoples. And I believe that once upon a time America had a solution. And it's not invading other peoples. It's allowing other peoples to become part of something bigger and better than themselves. And it can't be about skin colour. Please. I love your Candace Owens. Oh, she's amazing. As I said, there is a lot of very, very smart people in the States. And I'm a great fan of one of the greatest Americans who ever lived, George Carlin, because he taught me so much. And it was the culture that brought him up in, that allowed him to be free, to say all that. So free speech was amazing, and I thank you for the culture that allowed George Carlin to speak. We've had many here as well, so again, it's not but the culture of free speech. We have a place in London called Speaker's Corner, and it's going away soon if it's not careful. Speaker's Corner was always where somebody could get up on a soapbox and spout their stuff. Pretty much what I'm doing here. Speaker's Corner, you could say whatever you like. So there was a whole bunch of nutcases, absolutely batshit crazy. However, they had the right to get up there and speak. And now people get arrested for it. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, so we need more solutions, but we need to look and see the good side and what we have in common. And we have a lot in common with the Europeans too, but that has an old history. We've always held ourselves apart because we are an island nation. There's two island nations that went absolutely racial mad in their history, Japan and the United Kingdom. We have a lot in common with Japan, but you can see isolationism is one of our biggest flaws. But Europe was the EU was really corrupted. So yeah, things moved out. No, I didn't vote one way or the other. I'm not one who gets involved in that, but I can see the pros and cons, and yeah, I'm pretty much now very relieved that we are not a member state of the EU. But that's a discussion for another time. America, we love you. And yes, get over the skin colour stuff. I know I don't understand it fully, and there's a lot of problems. But you understand it fully. Find a solution. I love you lots, and please take care of yourselves and each other.